Hi, writers. At this point, you have learned that information writers often will choose topics about which they have their own insider information. That is unique personal wisdom, insights, tips, and stories. So you're really just thinking about your own life, stuff that you do all the time, stuff that you enjoy, topics you study, collections you have, celebrations, occasions, even just things that you do that maybe aren't so fun, like babysitting or laundry or dog walking. Who knows? Just stuff that is really, really familiar and stuff that you can do basically with your eyes closed. Or maybe just stuff that you could teach a whole class on or write a whole book on. So make sure that you have, at this point, generated a list of possible topics. And then from that list, choose a topic that you think would make for a strong information writing book. Maybe you'll write more than one book this bend, but just get started with one that gets you excited. So once you have generated some ideas, we'll make a list, then you'll make sure that you have enough stuff by generating more information, specifically insider information. Just as a reminder, what we did in a previous lesson, lesson 1, was we asked ourselves questions to get us talking and thinking about our topic, and then we jotted down some information. In fact, the first information that came to mind. Let me just remind you what I did. I started with asking myself, what are some of the surprising, interesting things you know about the topic? A few things that I know about the topic that I chose, which is cereal, right? So something that I eat all the time and love. That you can eat expired cereal basically whenever. It doesn't really make a difference. That led me to think more about how you can add cereal to other recipes, like a pie or like an ice cream sundae or certain cookie recipes, maybe even your morning yogurt. That also made me think about how you can basically eat cereal for any meal. That's maybe answering some other questions like what's important for others to know. Like you can eat it for any meal. So if you're really busy, it's a great thing to know that if you just have it in your home, you can just grab it and eat it for anything. And other things that I asked myself, what are some misunderstandings people might have about your topic? Well, one is that I found from my own experiences that there are gluten-free options. There's options for people like me who are celiac. I was so worried when I found out that I was celiac that I wasn't going to be able to eat my beloved Cheerios. So I became extremely excited when I found out that actually I can. They are gluten-free. This made me think about other allergies. For instance, my sister's allergic to nuts, and we have learned that certain cereals have nuts in them in those recipes, and she's broken into hives, swollen up, but there are also many other options that are available. So if you are a highly allergic person, like maybe you're part of my family, then it's good to know that there's cereal for you. And then also things that people should know about the topic that maybe they look past, or maybe things that do matter that are not so good, was that it does have a lot. Sometimes cereal can have a lot of sugar. So while there's healthy cereal, there's also not so healthy cereal. Okay, so I did all this work. I could keep going. Maybe I would continue to just write into a Google document, answering as many questions as I can, or adding on. Maybe I would just make stacks and stacks of Post-its, which is kind of what I started doing. I started to add on to these Post-its. For instance, for the allergy-free one, I started to think specifically about my sister and my family. I added on some more information for the gluten-free piece of information. I added that micro story. I could keep doing this and keep going. And tonight, what you might do is you might just keep adding to this chart. That could be one thing that you do. You just keep adding and adding to this chart. Maybe you're adding more initial thoughts, or maybe you're going back and you're stacking on Post-its, or you're adding more Google Keeps, or you're adding onto your Google Doc. Whatever that means for you, you need to do this, do this. Then, if you're finished with this tool, you might then consider some other ways to get more information about your topic, more information out of you. You don't need to research this. You're an expert. So Lastly, you might imagine your readers. Who is this going to be for? That could affect the information that you bring into the book. For instance, have you thought about the age of the readers of your book? Are they going to be other sixth graders? Will they be parents? Will they be school leaders? Will they be politicians? And are the people that you're writing to or for, are they beginners on this topic? That might mean like, oh, they already eat, like they don't really eat cereal actually. So you're kind of like convincing people to eat more cereal. Or maybe they eat cereal all the time anyway. They just didn't realize some of this other cool stuff, like the allergy-free stuff or the gluten-free stuff. And then another big question you might ask yourself about your readers is, why do they care? Or maybe the question really is, why should they care? Ask yourself some of these questions and see if you can add on to your jot so far. I also want to invite you to free write this. Sometimes what helps me as a writer is just to open up my notebook and just start writing about my topic freely. I call this free writing. You'll see that sometimes I go from writing regular sentences, complete sentences, to big bold words, to questions, to sketches in addition to words and explanations and thoughts. So if you want to, you could write long about this if you just want to get some thinking out, or you could just keep throwing down jots on Google Keeps or on actual Post-its. Whatever you do tonight, it's all about you generating topics for writing. Once that's done, checked off, it's brainstorming as much information as you possibly can on your topic. So that way you have almost like too much information. So the next step will be deciding, well, what do you actually want to use? Right now, I could add to this list by answering some of these questions. Like, for instance, if I'm writing to other sixth graders, I might teach them about like the different allergies that come with cereals or don't come with cereals, because I know that in schools we need to often restrict certain food items like nuts or other things, because we want to protect our classmates and our community from harmful situations like being exposed to nuts. So maybe that's the kind of thing that would be really important for them. Like maybe it's like cereal or safety, or maybe it's for other sixth graders who are always so busy and they need a snack that they can have anytime, anywhere. So it's really about like how easy cereal is, how you can eat it for any meal, how you can also add it on to things like your yogurt. Sometimes I like to add some peanut butter to my cereal to make it really hearty and fill me up. If I was writing to maybe, let's just say, other age or other people, like maybe I'm writing to parents, I could talk about like how easy it would be if you had cereal in your home for those reasons if you're running around. But maybe I'd also want the parents to know about the sugar content, because it's important that they know that there's a lot of sugar in cereal and they should be careful about which ones they buy and which ones they don't buy. And then maybe I'm trying to change something, or maybe I feel like this topic is misunderstood. Like maybe people who have allergies avoid cereal, so they should care about this because there's so many options. So it's really catered to them. It's really more about like the health and nutrition. Or maybe it's about people who don't make healthy choices and they need some support and some ideas. And so this is about like how easy this is, how healthy it can be, how accessible it is, how you can find cereal in almost any grocery store or even pharmacy. Like you can find it in CVS, anywhere. So tonight, homework is make sure that you feel confident in your topic, that you picked a topic you can write a lot about. Make sure you generate a lot of information using our tools, thinking about your audience. And then know that you can write in a few different ways. You can write long, you can sketch, you could write in Post-its or Google Keeps. It's up to you. As long as you get a lot of information down, I trust you. So I'm excited to see what you bring into class tomorrow. Make sure that you're using tonight to set yourself up for success. And let's get writing. I'll see you soon.